Hey everybody, welcome into Winning Edge. This is D-Man, Zach motherfucking Win. We got Jordan on the mic. We got Dan G on the mic as well. We're gonna go through week 1 reactions of last week and how all that turned out. We're gonna talk about players of the week, some standout guys kicking some ass, taking some names. We're gonna run through the college football top 10, the new AP top 10. Go through that. Also, we're running through the week 2 games to watch. What's coming up this coming week. And NFL kicks off Thursday, so we'll run through the whole schedule, including Thursday's game. Give you picks, winners and losers, and we'll keep track of that as we go through this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, Dan, how we doing, guys?
Go ahead, Dan. I want to hear from you first. I'm very curious.
How could I be doing any better? The Illini are undefeated. Bears are going into their Super Bowl season. Best year since '85 is what I'm hearing. I mean, life is good.
It's looking up, man. For the first time in a long time for you personally, I think so.
I beat Zach in golf if you factor in our handicap last weekend.
Man. You can't beat me in golf. I shot a 94. You shot 118 or some shit.
No, I shot 108, but I'm telling you, handicaps, I beat you by 3 strokes. So I'm riding high on the
Jordan. I broke 100, Jordan. Just saying.
Oh, did you? Under 100? Hey, that's you know what? For people who don't go all the time, that's a milestone.
I was pumped. I shot a 94, and I wasn't doing too bad. That was the first time I played 18 in a long time. So
probably could have done better if we were on greens that weren't, I don't know, like a mountain range.
It was
they had a hole. They had one green where the hole was in the slope, so it's like starting to slope, and then there's the hole, like diagonal.
Kind of like mini golf, dude.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Fantastic.
It was wild. So let's go into the week 1 reactions, right? Last week was worst week of college football, and damn, we had a hell of a show. I think almost every single game I was in tune with was pretty awesome. It was captivating, kept my attention. We'll start with Georgia, obviously being the best team in college football right now, and I don't think that there's much.
There's zero arguments. I mean, I don't know how else you could say it. Obviously, that number 1 was earned, and after that beating of Clemson, I'm just, there's no way. There should be 0 votes for anybody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think Ohio State had 5 votes for number 1, but
that's crazy to me.
There's no way.
No way.
No way.
Yeah. 57 for Georgia, 5 for Ohio State.
Like, what are we doing, guys? They couldn't even shut out Akron, and they pretty much shut out Clemson. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I respect it, but let's be realistic.
For sure. Next game that was very, very cool in my eye. I didn't get to watch it live because me and Dan were watching a hilarious redheaded man from Memphis. And it was Notre Dame going to College Station in Kyle Field, taking care of business. It wasn't the prettiest game, but it was a gritty win. Notre Dame took it, and it made me really happy because Notre Dame normally loses those games. So as a Notre Dame fan, it was kind of cool to see.
There's a ton of positives, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but a ton of positives, I think, for Notre Dame in general. It's coming out of that. We'll get into it in details, but I think there's more positives coming out of Notre Dame for that, especially up front.
Yeah, now they've got the rest of their schedule, which is a joke, so that's the positives for them.
I mean, 12-0, here it comes.
Yeah. I think they ranked. We have 22.2% to go undefeated the rest of the season. Obviously, we'll talk later on about USC making that a little more difficult at the end of the season. But pretty impressive win there. Another impressive win is Miami taking care of Florida in Gainesville. That was nuts. I did not expect to see that happening. And is Florida dead? Are they done? Is that head coach get out of there, or what's going to happen there?
They haven't been anything since the Tebow era. I mean, they fell off the map pretty much.
They've been respectable, and I think they still can be, but I think this says more about Miami than it does about Florida, to be honest with you. And again, I've got more stuff to talk about, just kind of hinting towards stuff in the future here, what we're going to talk about. But I think Miami's going to be, I think this says more about Miami than it does bad about Florida. But we'll see. I don't think Florida's dead by any means. I just think that's how good Miami actually is.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. Then the game Sunday night, LSU playing USC. A lot of people probably had their money on LSU, and USC took care of business, man. They looked really sharp. Miller Moss looked amazing. And like I said this before last week, Lincoln Riley, you can never vote him out. He's a hell of a football coach, man, and he can really figure that quarterback position out.
I wish they would have looked at.
Go ahead, Dan. You go ahead.
I wish they would have looked that sharp that last year with Caleb Williams, because it was giving me heart attacks week to week watching to see that was who the Bears were going to draft, because they couldn't give that guy protection or anything most of last season. So for my sanity, it would have been nice to see him play that sharp all season long last year.
I think, offensively, USC last year was okay. Like, they were decent, but then their defense was atrocious, like across the board. I think they were at the bottom of most stats. But I would say for the current thing, the way that game went, I didn't know who to root against. It was one of those things, I don't care who loses kind of that game, because A, I don't like Brian Kelly, and B, USC is what they are to me. So, but it was a good game. But also, like I said, you as a Notre Dame fan, I don't know if you're happy to see Brian Kelly lose, but it makes me very, very happy for some reason.
Oh yeah, and then him banging the table later in the press conference made me
tough
fucking
guy.
laugh. Dude. Oh yeah, thinks he's tough. You can't even fool anybody, man.
Well,
anyway,
I tell you what, I miss in LSU games on the big day. I miss watching Les Miles pick up that handful of grass and just shove it in his mouth.
Les Miles' air was awesome,
just chew it slowly like a cow out in the field.
Yeah, he loved that shit. USC did have a impressive defense just for this first game. They were hitting, they were flying around and hitting hard, man. Like I haven't seen that at SC in a long time. So, that's not bad. But the team I'm worried about a little bit. I'm not selling my whole stock on is Oregon. They struggled against Idaho. Had a rough start. It was kind of alarming to see when I was going through the scores and had to turn the film on a little bit and watch and figure out what happened. Because the quarterback stats was pretty good. Like, he looked like he played great. So, I don't know what would happen there, but you guys are selling it on Oregon, or you guys, it's too early to tell?
I think Oregon's way too early. It's too early, especially week one. This is what if you're going to do it in a week to struggle, week one should be it, right?
New quarterback.
Work out all these kinks. Get, what was it? Gabriel Dillon. Yeah. So I think, or Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I had it backwards. So I think, and he came from Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So
correct.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm not selling my stock on him. There's no way.
With his stat line, I was looking at it right now, 41 of 49. I mean, damn near perfect, like on his passes, no interceptions. If you get consistent play like that, it's hard to sell stock on it because he's not turning the ball over. He's completing his passes. Granted, 49 attempts is kind of high. It makes you wonder if, they could do more in the run game to support him. But like, if you get consistent play like that, you're always going to be in the game. So it's hard to say sell now. I think maybe part of it is them getting adjusted to this new life in the Big Ten. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's going to be a challenge for them this year. They're going to be traveling further out this direction than they're probably accustomed to for more games more frequently. So that'll be another challenge for them.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see later in the season. Last game we kind of touched on last week was the Florida State team, and they played Boston College. And watching that,
did they play them?
Night, they were there. They had the jerseys on. I'm not sure what the fuck they were doing. To be honest with you, it was hard to watch. I kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I'm like, damn. Brian, Bill O'Brien, ex NFL coach. I mean, he has the boys going at Boston College because they played well, they played strong, and not a lot of turnover. It wasn't very sloppy, so it was good to see. But Florida State, like, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Break it down.
You looked at the Georgia Tech game and you're like, oh, okay, slip up, no big deal. And this is a team that was just outside of the playoff last year, right? So, they were hooting and hollering about we should have been in, Alabama shouldn't have been in, everything. You heard it all. And then you come to this season and you're like, well, it looks like majority of the people that were saying you didn't deserve it may have been right. I know it's a different season, different team, different year, but man, does it not look good when you come out of the gate like this versus where you ended up last year.
Yeah, and they even said that even if Florida State wins out, like, they're still probably not going to make playoffs just because they've lost two terrible games.
So two, at the time, unranked teams. Georgia Tech is in the top 25 now.
Yeah.
But, you lose to them both right out of the gate. You lose to them both when they're unranked.
That's tough.
Well, there's a saving grace if you think about it, though. Let's say they win the ACC. That's an automatic bowl bid or a playoff bid, right? So
that is true. That is true.
They've only played. Well, is that two? Boston College in the ACC?
Yeah, they're both in the ACC. Georgia Tech and Boston College. That's two conference losses off the bat.
But given the track record of the ACC and the way that it's been just a toss up at the end of the year of who gets it, I wouldn't be surprised if they turn it around. That's definitely the conference to do it in.
You got to go through Miami though, and we saw what happened week one with them. They look sharp, so it'll be tough. It'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on though for sure.
We'll have to get it figured out.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else week one you guys want to touch on before we kind of move on to our outstanding players of the week?
As the resident Penn State fan here, I'd like to point out Penn State beat West Virginia.
Yes, they did. They did beat West Virginia, and been reading a lot about it and listening to a lot of different podcasts, and people are pretty high on Penn State. They said that they don't think this is going to be the Ohio State Michigan 2-loss Penn State that we normally see. So,
well, the reason it's not going to be is because they don't play Michigan.
Yeah, they have the easiest schedule of the Big Ten. They don't play Oregon. They don't play Ohio State or Michigan.
They do get USC and they get Ohio State this year. So they have Ohio State at home, but they have USC away. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm comfortable with it. I felt like that should have been the win, and they should have won the way they did. My takeaways, I will get into it in our next topic.
All right. I like it. Dan, you got anything about your squad there? Any coverage you like to give?
I mean, Illinois shutout. Illinois had a shutout 45-0. They're rolling in to play Kansas this week and probably crush them, I would imagine, in embarrassing fashion. Just and show the world what's up. We're going to shock the nation.
I love it. This confidence from Dan is something I've missed.
Never
also,
let's go.
If they lose, then I'm going to also just accept that the season's over with, and I'm going to move on. Because they have a gauntlet. They got to still play Oregon. They still got to play Michigan. They still got to play Penn State. So they have to. This has got to be if they want any chance of getting a bowl bid or anything, they have to beat Kansas at this point.
I agree. I like it. All right. Outstanding players of the week. Come on. Let's find it up. Okay.
Is that your wife drumming in the background?
Yeah. Allie, good job on the snare, baby. Good job on the snare there.
Let's go. Snare job, baby.
All right. Jordan, since you're right to my right here, we'll start you off. Well, who do you got? One of your outstanding players of the week, buddy, you'd like to cover?
All right. So it's not one individual person, but it can be.
Okay.
So I'm shouting out the Notre Dame offensive line, specifically Anthony Knapp.
Let's go, young boy.
Absolute true freshman, right? True freshman came in, left tackle. The entire offensive line didn't allow a sack from a very talented like a Texas A&M defensive front, right? There's NFL players on that front. So first off, absolutely huge. Didn't allow any sacks. Like I said, that kid is a true freshman, which is for a lineman, like that's big boy football, right? So like very, very impressed by that man. So that's my first one. If I give it to the entire offensive line, and if I can't do that, I give it to that Anthony Knapp dude. He's absolutely fantastic. It was cool to see. I did see him struggle a little bit, but he came back, still didn't allow a sack. Like you mentioned, it was messy, but it was still a very, very impressive win given where Notre Dame was playing. So
a total of 6 complete starts on that whole offensive line. That's pretty much a brand new freaking unit going into Kyle Field in College Station there. That's a huge one, Jordan. I like that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, what you got? Probably an Illinois player we don't know and we won't remember. Go ahead.
It is an Illinois player, but you're going to remember the name.
Right. Remember the name. That's a good
Their
song.
running back, Caden Fegan. Now, I mean, the stat line won't tell you anything crazy. 16 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown, but he got split yards, 16 carries. He got split yards last year, stepped up, basically about 7-yard average. But the guy is 6'3", 250 pounds.
Ooh, that's a load.
Yeah, he's a big bruiser. And it was hard for me because their quarterback, also Luke Altmaier, hit 4 touchdowns on the day and ran for a handful of yards and almost had a running touchdown too. But the Illinois has been kind of struggling. They've had a history of putting out good running backs. They had a streak there, Rashard Mendenhall, Mikel Shore, putting them into the NFL, high quality. And then they had a bit of what I would consider a bit of a drought in that respect. And this guy is just early in the season, but has the flashes of somebody that could be like another, that level tier running back for them, which when they had those guys, they had a lot of success. So
sounds like a Derrick Henry, man.
He's a hell of a load. I'd hate to be the middle linebacker in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You don't want to run up a
Mhm.
DB or a safety to try to tackle him. He's gonna.
Yep. That's pretty
Absolutely.
cool.
So keeping on the running backs, the old Boise State Broncos, Ashton Gentry,
Yep.
6 rushing touchdowns, 4 in the first half, 20 carries, 267 yards, 13.4 yards a carry. Hey, I know they played Georgia State.
He's kind of the opposite of the man that he just explained.
Yeah,
5'9", 215 pounds. He's a little bowling ball ready to fart,
Yeah,
man. I'm telling you
dude.
what, he's gonna explode, boys. No, it was great. It was cool to watch. I mean, I know they didn't play the most superior team in the world, but to even just put up almost 300 yards rushing in its own right is awesome.
Mhm.
He was the whole offense. I mean, 6 rushing touchdowns. I think the score was like 63 to 61 or something like that. So I mean, there's majority of the points. This isn't one guy. So really
That's
cool
nuts.
to see, and it's good for Boise State to get a little confidence going. Try to win the Mountain West.
He reminds me of I don't know if you remember back NIU. Garrett Wolf was another guy. He was 5'8" and like 200 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
The same thing, was just like a tiny little ball of muscle that just barrels into stuff.
Shit.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of, because he's short, but the guy is just nothing but pure muscle. You know, just no wasted poundage on him.
I like it. Jordan, you got another one for us?
I got 2 more, but I'll give my honorable mention. I'll save that one. So the second one I'm going to go with Cam Ward, Miami quarterback, dude. Absolutely. 26 to 35, 75% completion, 385 yards for 3 tutties. Like that's as good as it gets, right? QBR is probably way up there. I didn't get a chance to jot that down, but I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, and if I can do this week 1, I'm saying look out like Heisman stuff for this man. This man is like, if they continue, and that's what I was going to get into with like from earlier when we were talking about the big games from week 1. That's why I think Miami, it says more about Miami than it does about Florida in that game. But I think Cam Ward, if they continue this trend, which is weird because Miami has not been the Miami of the U and, back in the day and all
Long
that. So
time.
it's weird, but it's also refreshing, I think, you know what I mean, to see it that way. So if Cam Ward keeps that up, and he's a transfer, I can't remember where from.
Washington State.
Wow. Okay. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a lifestyle change right there. So,
yeah, buddy. Miami cheese. Can you imagine?
Yeah, right.
Woo!
So I think that's going to be huge. Cam Ward's fantastic. Absolutely he balled out. So we'll see if that continues and that Miami team looks and continues to be as strong as they looked the week 1. So that's my second one I got.
I love it. Dan, you got another one for us?
Yeah, I would say I kind of alluded to it and gave away the big thing earlier, but Oregon's quarterback, again, that 41 of 49, I mean, and 380 yards, like that's top tier play. Again, you're talking about 8 incompletions over the course of the whole game with that many attempts. That's efficiency. That's good game management. He only threw for 2 touchdowns, which again, you look at QBR, it's going to be down a little bit, but I look at that attempts, there's no interceptions. Like that's making sure you're getting the ball where it needs to be, even after you're being asked to do it at a high volume.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
He's got the arm.
Yeah, he definitely has the arm, and every coach will tell you in any level of football, the ball's the program. So if you have the ball and you don't give it to the other team, you most likely have a lot better chance to win the ball game. So him not throwing any picks is awesome, especially week 1, new team. He's a lefty. Receivers aren't used to that. It's a lot of variables going into that Idaho game. Like Jordan mentioned earlier, it can't sell your stock yet. So don't get too excited on that. And Dan, I like that. That's good. That's a good topic to bring up there.
Also, how uncharacteristic of like an Oregon football team to throw the ball that much. You know what I mean? So maybe it's because the run game wasn't working or whatever, but like that's also not like an Oregon team to throw it 49 times or whatever it was.
The other thing I think is interesting, because that's what I was double checking. He's been playing college football since 2019.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So he played 3 years at UCF, then went to Oklahoma and is Oregon. So I mean, he's also quote unquote an old man, if you want to call it that.
His
college
car insurance is cheaper now. I mean, come on now.
So I mean, to be kind of, if you want to say, long in the tooth as far as college play is concerned, and still, still doing that at a high level, I think speaks to quality quarterback there.
Yeah, it goes back kind of what you were saying about the Big Ten, right? You don't know if it's kind of prepared for that. Maybe Jordan here they're throwing a ball a lot, trying to spread it out because they know they can't size up with a lot of these Big Ten schools on the line of scrimmage. So maybe that may be what they're trying to practice and see if it's going to work, see if it's going to stick. So one last one I have is we're going to call him T Mac because I cannot pronounce this man's first name. T Mac McMillan from Arizona, 10 catches, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. Every time this man touched the ball, he was gone. He was
Crazy
insane.
shit.
They beat New Mexico 61-39. It was nuts. He's 6'5", 212. He's a load. He's tall, skinny. Like
Get the hell out of here.
dude, he's a stud. If you haven't seen his film, go watch his tape from the last game and even last season. I think it was a 1,200-yard reception guy. So big numbers out of Arizona, and they're ranked now, I believe, in the top 25. They're moving
Jesus
up.
Christ.
So good for Arizona. Here they go, right?
You said he's a 1,200-yard receiver last year?
I think so. Yes, I think he had
Man,
1,200
if
yards.
he
received.
is, if he's what? He's like 20% of the way there already. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
That is
Right? Yeah.
crazy.
Watch out. But all right. And Jordan, you said yeah, honorable mention.
I
Let's
do.
run
I have
through that.
one. And since
Let's hear it.
Dan went homer, I'm going to go a little bit homery. But Harrison Wallace III, Penn State receiver.
Such a good
Ooh.
name. Such a good name.
And I want to point it out, and it's 5 receptions, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. And here's why I want to point it out. We didn't get to talk about the game itself, but finally, this Penn State team is not just a run first classic Big Ten team, right? They can throw the ball down the field. That's what we want to see. That's what Drew Aller can do. So this kid stepping up and actually producing and getting open and allowing that to happen is a big reason I wanted to point it out. I'm hoping this trend continues. The whole issue for Penn State was they just couldn't open up the playbook, right?
Yeah.
Too reliant on Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen and their run game and stuff like that. And then if you can't put points on the board, you're still going to be, behind that defense. That is elite. Don't get me wrong, but you put them out there too much.
Yeah.
You're going to make them tired and everybody's going to fall. So yeah, Harrison Wallace III, Penn State receiver. I don't even think he's the number one option, but I know that
It's going to
he
change.
produced. So I think that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. And honestly, going through those games and the highlights there at Penn State, that I was telling, they just played fast, man. They've been playing fast and all over. Drew Aller looks like he has a boatload of confidence compared to last season.
Right.
Like you said, spread him out, man. Throw him down the field. He's throwing amazing balls down the center of that field. NFL-looking balls. He was on target.
He's got the arm and the talent, and I think he'll be
Yeah.
an NFL pick, but it's just good to see. I mean, they have 3 new coordinators, defense, offense, and special teams. So that's crazy to me that's I'm hoping, that's what I was hoping. Somebody new come in, open up the playbook, let this man play, and go from there. So
Because you guys don't have lack of talent. Like you guys have talent in almost every position, so let's use it.
this year and next year, if everybody stays, there's no reason why, things can't go really well.
All right.
Famous last words for all the programs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, that wraps up the standout players of the week. We appreciate you guys tuning into that. And if you have anything to add to that, some players you thought stood out for week 1 in the college football, slate of games last week, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, or
Hell yeah.
mess with us on the Facebook group.
Let us
if you guys
know
want to
for
join
sure.
that. Yeah, I want to
Or
love
you
to
can
hear.
write a letter. Zach
Yep,
likes
write a
to
letter.
receive
The
letters.
address is I love Daniel 127. All right, going into top games of week 2 coming up. Well, not a lot of games on Friday, but mainly a good Saturday slate. I guess Jordan, what would be a game that you have your eyes on and you can't wait to
I'm
watch?
gonna be honest with you. I think we all are gonna have the same 2 for at least college football.
It's number 1.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, college football, big noon. Well, Dan, we know what one of Dan's is going to be, but it's definitely not going to be on our list.
Yeah, not on mine.
So Texas, Michigan, right? Big noon.
Let's go.
Fox.
Let's go.
By the way, I despise these top 10 teams playing at noon. I hate it. I always will. It's just one of those things where I want to sit back with some buddies. I want to hang out. I want to watch the game at night. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Nobody's saying, hey, let's all hang out at noon and watch this big game.
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
Tailgating in your front yard.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think that's going to be a big one. Texas, I think, is ultimately, if I'm going to make a prediction, going to run away with it, just because I think Michigan's a lot of too much is too new, right? I think, and that's really the Michigan's going to be downfall there. But I don't think they reloaded as much as their record and ranking will show. But we'll have to see. I mean, it's Big Ten football. If they can slow down Texas, that's the biggest thing. but I think Texas is going to throw all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Michigan has one of the best DBs in the game right now, so we'll have to see. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's my biggest one
with him and Isaiah Bond matching up and trying to shut them guys down. I like it. Dan, what you got? I know you're itching, baby. I know you're itching to tell us all about what's going to happen on Saturday. Come on.
I mean, we all know that Illinois Kansas is the game to watch, and frankly, anybody that wants to miss out on that, I just don't think you have a refined palate for college football.
What time is this game? Yeah, what time is this game kicking off?
You should do your research. I don't need to fill that in for you.
Tell the fans, dude. I'm trying to set you up. I'm trying to tee you up. But hell, I tried doing that on Saturday, but you can't hit the fucking ball. So that's on you. You know what? I can't help you anymore, sir.
I'm sorry. Let's look at the scorecard. I beat you by 2 strokes. So
no way.
Right. 57 handicap. Yeah, you should. I hope
I don't have a 57 handicap. Thank you very much.
47.
It's not that bad.
I apologize.
Nope, not 47 either.
Just talk about Kansas whooping Illinois. Or, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. You had it right.
No, they play at, I think it's 7. I'm double checking. I'm pretty sure it's.
That's a late game.
Dan?
No way.
Research, dude.
They're playing the late game.
Yep.
Yeah, hey.
I know Tennessee.
Stadium,
sorry. Never mind. I'm getting too ahead of myself.
Yeah. So outside of that, though, I think Boise State, Oregon, because we have right now a setup of run and pass, right? As we just talked about. We got an offense that the first week was super pass heavy. We got an offense that the first week was super run heavy. I think it should be interesting to see if that's the route that they both stick with, or if they try to change it up a bit, since, obviously the highlights and all the film focuses on those two things. But I think that'll be interesting.
Upset alert or no?
I'm going to lean Oregon,
okay.
But I'm going to say that it's like I'm like a 60-40. I'm not super confident. I just think the edge is to Oregon.
Interesting. Okay.
But I would say that it's not out of the realm. Like, it wouldn't be one that was a shocker where I'm like, how did that happen? It would be, feasible, but I think it leans Oregon's direction.
Yeah, okay.
I like it.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, that's tough. So a game I can't wait to watch, because Iowa and Iowa State, they're always a good football game to watch.
6-3. Let's be honest, dude.
No. Iowa
has Texas and Iowa football. Do they? Because in that first game, I saw their drive score was like punt, turnover, rundowns, punt, punt.
What happened after halftime? I think it was 41-2 or something. They won, so they turned it on. Man, they started scoring. So I'm excited to see that. I'm really rooting for Iowa, just because I would love to see them get an offense, because their defense is so damn good. They've been waiting to get bailed out for a long time. I know you're going to disagree because of Penn State and the Big Ten. You guys are all excited and things like that. But I don't know. Iowa State, Iowa, this would be a fun game to watch. Iowa, I think, rolls that game, honestly. I think they come out there with a big W.
Yeah, I think so
that's
too.
A Saturday kickoff, 3:30. That's a good time.
I think they win. I just don't know if it's in the fashion you're thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to lean more towards a big cloud of dust and 3 or 4 field goals.
Cade McNamara.
Yeah, from Michigan, right? Yeah, I think he's there now, running the show. Is that for the second year or first?
I think it's the second year.
Second year, yeah. I think he was there last year. Yeah, that's right. I have there's too many years where Iowa has ruined Penn State's thing. So, like, as of recent history, they could lose. That'd be great. But end of the day, their defense is always stout. Always is. Always will be. I feel like that's just a program that will have that. Yeah, that defense or offense will be the question mark. I think you get into, Iowa's always kind of hung around the top 25 for a very, very long time, right? They always did. They even got up to the top 5 at one point, I believe, in recent years, just because of where they were. But man, that offense is always a big question mark. So we'll have to see if they can continue putting up the points. That's important.
Yeah. All right. You kind of mentioned it already, Jordan. So go ahead and throw it at us, baby. What you got?
I jumped ahead. But yeah, Tennessee, NC State. That's the late game I'll be watching. Did you confirm that Illinois game's at 7?
It is at 7, yeah.
Okay, so I might switch between.
It's
the two.
on FS1 if you're curious too.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'll be. Tennessee, NC State, 7:30. I think it's ABC has that game. Tennessee.
The good news is, Jordan, Illinois game will be over by 7:30. It'll be in the bag, so you'll be able to easily transition over.
I won't have to flip back and forth. That's great.
Yeah, it'll be a done deal.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know a ton about NC State. I know Tennessee has got a lot of talent on their team. I think this will be a deciding factor of what to look for, I think, for the rest of the year for the Vols. NC State, I don't know a ton about, but we'll have to see. I think Tennessee comes out on top on that one, but I know they got an extremely talented receiving core, and their quarterback's a stud as well. So we'll have to see what goes on, but yeah,
Go Vols.
that's another big one.
Yep, I'm on Tennessee on that all the way. NC State's good. I played with them in college football 25, and the quarterback receiver duo pretty cool on the game. So we'll see if that translates. But
I'm
Nico
always
for
recruiting
Tennessee
against them, dude.
Nothing in
Yeah,
that game
they got a
translates. That game is ridiculous. You go undefeated and you get dropped down out of the top 25. That game is stupid.
He's a little heated about that.
Nico's a damn good talent, and he was a true freshman last year, so he's in his sophomore season now. And
Wild.
well, I'm excited to see if he can spread it out and kind of make them a factor in the SEC.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, that's 7:30. Yeah, all right.
7:30 ABC.
Let's go, Dan. What you
All
got?
right. I mean, I know the one we've all been thinking of. Colorado. You got prime time. You got Sanders. You got a mess of a team over there playing Nebraska, who Nebraska has just not been the Nebraska of old in a long time. They've got a pretty good, it looks like recruiting class, but
oh yeah,
come on, Areola.
It seems like they're Areola.
His last name Areola. I always call him Areola.
I mean, it looks like they're poised to come back into what they used to be. Nebraska used to be like always in the top 25 kind of a program, but they've had some struggles. I'm going to lean Nebraska. I'm over this whole Colorado hype. I don't think that. I mean, I'm not impressed when I watch them. I think that it's a lot of smoke and there's no fire behind it with Colorado.
So, and I was going to touch on this game as well. I'm glad you picked it because 7:30. I'm not going to be watching Tennessee, NC State. I'm going to be watching Colorado, Nebraska. I'm going to be watching. It's 7:30 at Lincoln. It's a night game. I'm pretty sure Nebraska still to this day holds the record for consecutive sellout stadiums.
Yep, you're right.
on their game. So it's a badass stadium. Whether they win or lose, they have nothing else to do in Nebraska, right? There's just
having been to Nebraska, yeah, I think it's because there's not much else going on.
There's nothing to do, right? There's nothing to do. But honestly, Colorado might score some points. That's great, but I'm telling you what, this new quarterback Nebraska has and the weapons they have, the running back is damn good. I think there's just too much talent, too much Division I football talent on Nebraska's squad, and that 3 players on the other squad it won't be able to handle. Shiloh and Shadir and Travis Hunter. That's great. You have to play 2 ways because your defense sucks so bad. That's just my take on Colorado. Their defense won't be able to stop Nebraska's offense, and Nebraska's defense is going to probably stop Colorado at the end of the week. So I got Nebraska there. I'm not heavy on Colorado either.
If there's one thing Matt Rule can do, it's recruit. Right? He's shown that he can accumulate talent, and this is just the beginning of that kind of coming. Those fruits of his labor showing up and actually coming to fruition. So I think that's going to be huge. Colorado's weird because I love the showboaty stuff. I love it. It's awesome. It's fantastic. But for some reason,
entertainment.
Yeah, for some reason, I only believe it from Travis Hunter and not so much Shadur Sanders. For whatever reason, I don't know why it is. He's touted as one of the better quarterbacks coming out of the thing, but I guess for me, it takes a little bit more than just what it is. But Travis Hunter, he's across the board just a stud. He's got to be one of the best prospects, coming out of college football into the draft. We'll have to see though. I think not Todd McShay, the other one. Oh my goodness!
Todd McShay from ESPN.
Yeah, no. What's his name? The other guy does.
Adam
my
Schefter?
gosh! No, the draft guy. Mel Kiper. Thank goodness. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So Mel Kiper came out and said that. Mel Kiper came out and said that he's probably his favorite prospect as of right now. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, but those are definitely. When you look at it a little bit deeper, there's more games that are more interesting if you look at them rather than just, these are the only ones with top 25 matchups. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
especially Colorado, Nebraska, Boise State, Oregon. Like there's some really, really good ones in there for sure.
Yeah. And touching back to Boise State, Oregon, that's a 10 o'clock kickoff Eastern. So So that's gonna be nice. It's gonna be you're wrapping up to get day. Your babies are in bed. Putting the kids to bed and kind of on the couch, just kind of ending the day watching Boise State hopefully win against Oregon. I think that'd be awesome for the program.
It's always nice getting my babies to bed.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. You gotta tuck them all in and give them kisses. Sometimes Hadley makes me sing, and I feel bad for Allie on the monitor. She has to listen to that. So
fatherhood, it's a real joy.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. So, any other games that you guys could possibly think of that week 2 that we should be talking about? Or we should be, I guess, letting the people know about, letting them be aware.
I honestly, I think that, like I said, we covered all the good ones, and even some that caught me off guard that a little bit there too. Is I took the top 25 matchups, but you guys kind of showed some light on some of the other ones to keep an eye on. So I think that covers it, man.
I love it. All right. So that kind of wraps up the college football for the week. This upcoming weekend, we reacted. Now we're going to go into the predictions side of the week 2 there, and now let's talk NFL. Right, this is the men's league, and I'm freaking pumped for it. Right, Thursday's coming up. We have a Thursday kickoff, 8:20. Baltimore Ravens going against the Kansas City Chiefs. This game will be on NBC/Peacock. I'm pumped. I don't even want to pick a winner because I want both these teams to win. What a matchup to start the year off.
So you're starting it off with the Chiefs Ravens, and I think that's the biggest game of the week. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you get any better than the one you're kicking it off with.
No.
I mean, I have my own personal reasons to think about some other games. But man, dude, Chiefs Ravens, like Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, like, that's scary in it by itself, but like the Chiefs are who they are. They're always showing up, even when they struggled late first last year, beginning of the season last year, came back, and repeated. So, I mean, I don't know. So you can't really take too much from these games, but that's a big one right off the bat, and I'm here for it.
Okay. So looking into it, right, I'm going to go with the Ravens, and here's what I'm going to tell you. So the last time they played AFC Championship, right? So you got probably the two best teams in the AFC. Ravens have the number 1 rush offense and the number 6 overall offense. And then you've got the Chiefs with the number 9 overall offense and the number 2 overall defense. So, I mean, you've got two big powers clashing. But, yeah, I mean, the Ravens are scary right now. I mean, you've got Lamar Jackson, who's essentially a running back on his own. And then you got Derrick Henry, who's a completely different kind of running back than Lamar Jackson would be when he's mobile. Lamar Jackson's shown that he can throw it, just as well as he can run it. The Ravens have tried to piece together, to fill in those holes. I think that the Chiefs have been great, right? They've had how many years now of sustained success? It just, to me, time is eventually going to catch up with them. They can't be the dominant force in football forever. I think that teams like the Ravens and some of these teams that have made moves in the draft in the offseason to try to patch up some of their weak spots are closing that gap on them, and I think the Ravens are going to start out the season with the W.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, no, the Kansas City Chiefs better bring their A game because I'm telling you what, like Dan and Jordan made comments about here is Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. A 1-2 punch, talk about two different punches. You got an uppercut and you got a freaking straight one right to the nose. And you better bring your midseason form because it's going to be a dogfight. And I think the Ravens have a more talented roster right now. All front and back, defense, offense. They got some dogs. So I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to upset the Chiefs on Banner Night in Kansas City.
Damn. So I didn't want our first pick to be like straight across the board. We all picked the same team, but Dan, you mentioned you can't. There's time will always catch up, right? And that the Chiefs will always eventually fall off. But like you just saw 20 years of fucking Patriots just absolutely never disappearing, right?
We saw that because of one player. I think we figured out it was the player, not the coach.
Dan, come on.
Not one player, but
also
I know the sentiment.
A lot of sustained cheating.
The most important player, you know what I mean, on the team. But
right.
And so I'm going to go with who I want versus who I think is going to win, and I want the Ravens to win because I like I like Derrick Henry. I want Lamar Jackson to actually get a to host a trophy at the end of the year. Outside of obviously our teams that we personally root for, But I think
Correct.
that's I'm gonna go Ravens as well. Why
I
not?
like it. No, like you said, that's a hell of a matchup to have your first game Thursday
Yep.
night. I mean, all eyes going to be watching that. I bet you. I'm not a betting man, but I promise you that's going to break some viewing records.
Yeah,
Kind of
it'll
like
be a
Game
good
Day
one.
just did this past week in Kyle and got Kyle Fields. So no, it's going to be a great one to watch.
Mhm.
So we got we're Baltimore Ravens across the board there. Easy money.
Yep.
Easy money. All right. So Friday, which is kind of a new this year, I think. Friday, they're going to be in Brazil playing. Green Bay Packers are playing the Philadelphia Eagles Friday at 8:15 on Peacock. I think that's a Peacock exclusive. So if you do not have Peacock, you better sign up immediately if you want to catch that ball game. I'll go right into it. I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles have the week one. I don't know. I don't think they have what it takes to win week one right now. They got too many new pieces and too many other things leaving, especially in the core of the center. Obviously, Mr. Kelsey himself leaving. It's going to be tough to kind of replace him, Hall of Fame player. So I really kind of want to see the Green Bay Packers win, Jordan Love, and play well, honestly.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Eagles though. And it's only purely because I'm one of those very few New York Giant fans who wants to see Saquon actually succeed.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice.
It sucks that it has to be somewhere else. But,
And
you
in the
know,
division.
what do they say? If you love someone, let them go kind of a thing, right? So that's exactly what they needed to do. They weren't going to do shit for him in New York. So I think the Eagles come out just because I think that addition of Saquon actually gives them a threat at running back. Not to say that they haven't been too bad lately, but that's a true threat if he can get back to Saquon of old. I did have this game as my number 2 game, like of the entire week.
Yeah,
So this is pretty.
back, man.
Yeah, so it's crazy that Thursday and Friday is really cool. It is in Brazil, so that's pretty cool as well.
Very nice.
But yeah, I think I got Eagles.
Okay. Dan, what you got, big dog?
I'm going with the Eagles, one, because I will never, ever, I don't care what it is, under any circumstances, root for the Packers or pick the Packers. In fact, I hope that the whole team gets abducted in Brazil and they disappear forever.
They're worried about that. They're really worried about the security.
No,
and the
I think that's going to be a big variable for both teams. Is you're traveling to somewhere that we've really never played NFL football before. You've got the travel struggles. It's going to affect all their week prep, everything like that, and it's on a Friday, so it's like a shorter week for them on top of it.
Yeah, weird.
So really, that's a
weird situation.
Yeah, so it's going to affect both of them,
scoring.
but really, just on principle, I have to say the Eagles. Even if I don't believe that they'll win, I can't ever pick the Packers.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's fair. I like it. All right, moving on to the Sunday slate, 1:00 games. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to start it off with the Atlanta Falcons going to Atlanta Sunday, 1:00. That's going to be on Fox. I don't know. This is a coin flip for me. I have a lot of family that roots for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 4-1-2. So I'm going to go Steelers. That's only it. I mean, I'm nervous about their offense and their 18 quarterbacks they have and what they're going to try to do here with no receivers. But I'm going to have to go Steelers just for the family's sake there.
If Justin Fields was starting, I'd go Steelers.
Guy's
trust
garbage.
in Russ. No trust in Russ, baby.
But dude, I don't know. What's the other team again? Say it again. Hold on.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, too much talent. Absolutely too much talent. I think Kirk Cousins might be interesting, but if he starts to fail, they've got a backup. I know that was a big conversation during the draft. So I'm gonna go Falcons. I think.
All right.
I think too many question marks for Pittsburgh and everything going into it. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons as well. Again, I think they've got some talent. I think that they have, like as Jordan said, kind of an X factor at quarterback. You've got Kirk Cousins Kirk Cousins can be a great game manager. Kirk Cousins can look like a Hall of Famer, in some games. Mm-hmm. And when and like Jordan said, if he fails, you've got kind of a bit of an unknown. I say that in terms of Michael Penix, like we just, all you have is a little bit of preseason tape. We don't really know how he's going to do at this level. But they clearly saw something in him to make the kind of decision they made with him. So you have to hope that there's something special that they saw in him to make him make kind of that interesting draft decision. But again, as you said too, Steelers, they've been kind of doing this quarterback by committee. It feels like the last few years they've been pretty all over the board. I'm gonna have to go with Atlanta.
Okay, I like it.
I mean,
We're
Bijan
breaking this shit
Robinson,
down, baby.
he's gonna have a year, dude. I think he's gonna break out this year.
All right,
That's
I
gonna be
hope
nuts.
so. I hope so.
You
All
got
right,
him on
next.
fantasy or what?
Don't worry about it. Next game we got is the Arizona Cardinals going to Buffalo. They're playing the Buffalo Bills Sunday, 1:00, CBS. This is kind of easy to pick. Buffalo Bills. I think Arizona has way too many confusion and question marks on their roster right now. I'm excited to see, obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Let's
That's a
let's
big
speak. Let's use our words here. I'm excited to see him play. I hope the best for him. I hope he can get it figured out and really have a successful career like his father.
Yep.
But Buffalo wins.
Yeah, Buffalo hands down. I think there's not a whole lot to add other than prove it to me first with Arizona. Buffalo's kind of already. I mean, you got a quarterback like Josh Allen. I know Kyler Murray's not too bad, but
Keon Coleman, rookie, some youth talent there. Stephon Diggs is still there. So
yeah, exactly. So we'll see what you can do with all that. You got people that have been in places for a while. So yeah, Buffalo for me.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo too. Again, they're almost reminding me of the Jim Kelly Bills. You know, like they just seem to be this dominant team that just can't quite make it all the way to the end, year after year.
Yep.
But that speaks to one thing, which is that they're consistent and they're consistently a good team. They're consistently a postseason team, and you've got them playing against the Cardinals. I mean, they're kind of all. Yeah, I mean, they'll make a move that you're like, oh, that's good, and then they'll trade away somebody who are like, it doesn't seem to have a rhyme or reason to what they're doing with the team down there, in some respect. But I just think the Bills have too good of a core of players to lose that one.
Yep.
All right, Buffalo Bills across the board. Okay, the Tennessee Titans are going to Chicago to the Monsters of the Midway. Chicago Bears Sunday,
champions.
1:00. That's going to be on Fox, and obviously, I'm a Colts fan, so I really would not like to see Tennessee Titans start 1-0. So Chicago, do us a favor and knock them off. I'm excited to see Caleb Williams. I was so hard on him last year, kind of like Dan said early in the show. Just last year looked so awful. And I sold my stock pretty early on him. I'm hoping for the best in Chicago, and I'm sure you guys will allude to a little more of that. So I'm picking Chicago here.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee losing. Derrick Henry. I don't know what they replaced. I don't even know what they replaced him with. To be honest with you, I didn't keep track of that. So
no, I don't care.
But I don't think it matters, right? It's not Derrick Henry. That's the biggest issue. I think Will Levis is starting, right, quarterback there.
Yep.
So I think just not enough, right? I think Chicago comes out with the extreme talent that they just got overnight, which is the offseason. So we'll see. I think I'm excited to see what Chicago can do with the talent that has been accumulated in that city. So
real quick, I think there's 2 blowouts in this week 1 NFL schedule, and I think this one is one of them.
Okay.
I think Chicago lays it on there and really shuts up some haters and dominates.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have kind of hit the nail on the head. So I got to go with Chicago. They have a really solid defense. They still didn't really address their front line as well as I would have hoped. They didn't really get a good complementary piece to Montez Sweat on the line, but they got a solid linebacking core. They've got Jalen Johnson. They've got good safeties. They got good DB. They've got some key all-pro players essentially on their defense. And preseason's preseason, but even their backup units were smothering teams in the preseason. So Chicago's always been known for having a stout defense. It's good to see that it's kind of back to that feeling. And then for the first time, and I mean, maybe ever, as a Bears fan, you look at like they have the potential to have a super high flying, high powered offense. I mean, you've got DJ Moore, obviously a super, super talented receiver, a number 1 receiver on any team you would go to. Then you've got Keenan Allen, who, while older, has still been producing at like number 1 receiver levels.
Yeah.
And then you've got, Rome from Washington, who has the potential. He has the physical capabilities. He's got the speed. He's got some size, some lankiness to him. Learning from 2 super talented receivers. You've got a solid tight end in Cole Kmet, and then you pick up.
I think he's going to have a bigger year this year. I think Cole Kmet had a good year last year, but I think given that the talent around him and the receivers is going to open the door for him to make some noise, I think, this year, which would be nice.
Yeah, the Bears have often when Bears tight ends have had good years, it's because that's like the safety valve to the quarterback, and it's been because they have no other choice. I think this
Right.
year
Yeah.
he's going to have that year for a different reason, which is the pressure's off of him.
Right.
Freedom,
You
man.
know, like because I mean, who
He's
do
the
you?
fourth target.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, because you could last year you could put all your coverage on DJ Moore. Now what do you do when you have three potential
Mhm.
number one type receivers out there at a minimum? Then you pick up Swift from Philadelphia, so he's going to be a little bit of an X factor. Depending on who you read or hear from, some people aren't totally sold on him. He had a great year last year, but then they look at prior to that he was a little lackluster. But I mean, they had to get something to replace Montgomery. The guys that they had just they weren't enough last year. But for the first time in a long time, the Bears running back is also not the focal point, right? So Matt Forte was their best running back and receiver for many years, and
A very long time.
things like that. They had to use those guys as essentially receivers because it was just constantly getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand in a panic. And then Caleb Williams, like I said, I'm trying to be super hopeful and optimistic about it. You have to think if so many people have so many good things to say, like you got to hope that not everybody is wrong, right? There's got to be something there. So I'll be interested to see that. Again, preseason they limited his snaps, so you only get to see a little bit, and you get to see it against a lot of second teams and things like that. So I'd like to see this be a good example, even though it's not an elite defense. It'll be against a first team defense for 4 quarters. Let's see how he does.
Yeah. Still professional football, Still professional football. I like it.
Far
Good
better than
breakdown,
I'll
Dan.
ever do.
Yeah, no doubt. New England Patriots are going to go to Cincinnati and play the Bengals Sunday, 1:00 CBS. The New England Patriots is a freaking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in there. Poor Jacoby Brissett. I do root for him. He's a hell of a guy, hell of a good backup. But I don't think he has enough around him to make a dent. Cincinnati has way too much firepower. So
yep, Cincinnati
Bengals.
for me. Not a whole. Yeah, Bengals for me too. Not a whole lot to say about it other than just the situations are completely different. One's established, one's building in a rebuilding process. So
Yep.
Yeah, Bengals for me.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. The only thing I think I would be even more sold on them if they had this Jamar Chase situation figured out. But
he was
I
at
think even
practice today, but he was limited, so it looks like he may participate.
They may be getting there,
and get in there.
But again, I think they've got a good quarterback. They've got talent on the offensive side of the ball. I think that like you said, the Patriots are they're far from the Patriots, of the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Like that's not the teams. So going with the Bengals.
All right.
Yeah, boy.
The Houston Texans come to the Loud House here in Indianapolis. They're playing the Colts Sunday, 1:00 CBS. It's been 11 years since the Indianapolis Colts have won on week 1. 11 years. But it's this fucking time. This year is different, okay? Houston Texans have knocked us out of the playoffs last year at home. So we have a little bit of blood in our mouth. We got terrible taste going on coming into this game. We got our dogs back. We got a healthy Richardson as of right now. I'm praying to God that he can last all season. But at least we have him healthy week 1. We have Jonathan Taylor not messing around at holding out and things like that. We got all kinds of talent around the board. So I'm just pumped to see this defense. I'm worried about the back end. I don't think the DBs are very good. Besides Kenny Moore, I think it's about all we got DB wise. So hopefully we can find out real quick how to defend a very talented Houston Texans receiving core. So I'm going Colts. I hope they break this 11-year winless streak on week 1.
Yeah, this is actually the game I had circled for my third most interested kind of game, only because Richardson comes back from a season injury last year. I've wanted to see more of him, and hopefully we get to see that this year. As far as the pick, I think I have to go with the Texans just because they're established. CJ Stroud, showed what I think Anthony Richardson can also show. But I think the fact that they got to do it for an entire year last year, the Texans show up and actually come out with a win on that one.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was a bit of a coin flip for me, and I'm just going to go with the Texans. Again, I think, like Jordan said, they got a little bit more of a known quantity in their cornerback. For the sake of injury and things like that, he's gotten a little bit more time with the team, rhythm with the team, and statistics are on their side, right? The Colts are kind of not a week one team. But really, like I said, this one is a 50-50. For me, it was kind of a toss-up, and I'm just going to go with the Texans.
All right. Respect. Hey, I got a couple of these where I'm the only one picking the team, so hopefully that means I'll be a hell of a start off for the year.
That's
yeah,
for
could
sure.
be great or
Yes,
it
yes.
could be really bad for the boy. So Jacksonville Jaguars are going to Miami, the hot Florida, to play the Dolphins here Sunday, 1:00 CBS. So AFC South, I don't like the Jaguars winning anything, so go Miami. I think they have a lot of talent. So Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins across the board. I think Tyreek Hill's nuts. Hopefully that whole situation works out. But I mean Waddle. I mean it's a whole. They're still geared up to be a good team this year, and hopefully they get to show that. But I don't know what the Jaguars have. I don't even know what they're going to be able to show. But I think Dolphins come out on top on that one.
There we go.
I want the Jaguars to win. I don't know why. Jacksonville's a team. I want them to be good. I want them to have some good years. Because, again, they have little to no bearing on what happens with the Bears. And I feel like they've just been bad forever. I just, I'd be happy to see them have a couple of good seasons. But everything points to Miami, so I got to go with Miami. I mean, as much as I would want to see them have some success, logic tells me Miami.
I mean, it depends what Trevor Lawrence you're going to get, right? If you're going to get good Trevor Lawrence or if you're going to get that. Because he's got Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Evan Ingram to pass to. So he's got talent there, but it's just a matter of if he's going to use it or not.
Yeah, and he just signed a big money contract, baby, so you better do something.
That's crazy to me. That is what a
massive contract.
Well, look at how long they paid and drug it out with Blaine Gabbert. They're not always great with their decision.
Well, they're paying Mr. Sunshine for his college days, I think. Honestly, but
well, I mean, you got to pay. They're paying. Well, I mean, if you don't pay him, somebody else will. So then you're just right back to the drawing board. I think their backup's Mac Jones. So come on, you know what I mean?
It's a league where if you can get in and do the bare minimum to maintain a game, you get offered money.
If you're a top 15 quarterback, you get paid like you shouldn't. So
I love it.
People are too scared to be on the other end of that.
All right, bouncing around. Carolina Panthers going to New Orleans Saints. This game I don't give a rat's ass about, quite honestly. I have no skin in the game. I don't really care what happens. Carolina sucks, so Saints, I guess, is kind of an easy pick here.
Yeah. Carolina's a dumpster fire, just like New England. I mean, they can't seem to get it right one way or another. I mean, to go back to the Bears, I mean, they took them and shook their lunch money out of their pockets with that trade. And
they robbed them, man.
And they've really continued to kind of go downhill, I think, since then. They just can't seem to put the one foot in front of the other. So even though I really know little about the Saints, it's just I can't imagine there's many teams out there that are in as bad a position as the Panthers.
Well, I think I got to go. Yeah, Panthers again, dumpster fire. I don't think they get any better. They could have if they didn't make their trades, but I mean, the Saints still have Cam Jordan. They still have Derek Carr. Jawan Johnson.
They still have
Chris. Yeah, they still have Chris Olave. They still on defense. They even reloaded. They got Tyrann Mathieu. They've got Kool-Aid McKinstry. So
they got dogs.
Yeah, I think there's too much going on there where they don't have. You know what I mean? I think Carolina's too much of a liability across the board.
I like it. Okay. Minnesota Vikings going to New York, baby, going to the Big Apple, playing the Giants at 1:00 on Fox.
Let me take this one first. Let me do it.
We know.
No, hold on. You already know. Here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. I'm a Giants fan. I will say it right here. If I'm ever on a show ever again, you guys know it. I'm a Penn State fan for college football. I'm a Giants fan for New York for the NFL. So
you're a Penn State fan?
I have been. Yeah. Yes. So I have been. Will never, ever be a fan of Danny Jones.
Danny Dimes, call him the right names.
Whatever. I don't care what his name is anymore. I'm over it. I want to move on. I was mad that they paid him instead of Saquon. I think I already made that clear from the Eagles stuff I talked about. But I was firmly going to pick the Minnesota Vikings until J.J. McCarthy went down.
That's tough.
So I don't think there's enough. I just had who was actually going to start for him. Oh my God, who is it?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. No shot in hell. If there's anybody you're going to name worse than Danny Dimes, it's Sam Darnold. So I think there's going to be, this is the year where Danny Dimes is like unleashed because he doesn't have a halfback that is taking the spotlight from him. So I think they're going to be like, we're all in.
Hey.
Danny Dimes, this is it. Go ahead, throw it out there, see what you can do. And if you can't produce or, put up numbers or win games for us, then we're going to throw you out there. But I do think the Giants defense did kind of reload. They have Burns they got from a trade in the offseason, so that's huge. They haven't had a lot of pressure in the last few years, so that's going to be big. So I was ready to pick the Vikings when I was looking at the season in the schedule before, but I think I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. But it's going to be a low-scoring game, and it's going to be very, very close.
All right, two things, Jordan. One, do you guys have Dexter Lawrence, right, in the middle?
Yeah, yep, he's a stud.
Okay, and then also put some respect on Singletary's name, dog. Come on, man.
I
That's
will,
a good
but
pickup for the Giants.
He's not bad, but he's not bad, but he's not Saquon. That's what I'm trying to get
No one's
at.
Saquon.
Yes. Well, yes, that's true. I think I don't think it's enough, right? He's a decent back, but he's not somebody you go and spend $13 million on like Saquon would have been. So, but I don't know.
Agree.
Yeah, we'll see.
I agree. What you got, Dan?
See, and I'm torn here. Like, I'm going to lean towards Minnesota only because, they have probably the best receiver in football, one of the top 3 best receivers in football.
Get him the ball. Who's throwing it?
That's the other thing is like we've
Wildcat.
got two. You got two quarterback. You got two teams with quarterbacks. We've seen Danny Dimes, but we seen Danny Dimes?
You've seen We've seen enough of him. We're good.
I just want to. I'm going to throw it up there again. This was kind of a coin toss for me. I'm just going to go Minnesota. As much as even a Bears fan, I don't like to. I like Jeffries. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I got you.
All right.
Want to see some
Jordan
gritties.
Addison too, which would be cool. We'll get them going. But yeah, like I said, how you gonna get the ball to him? I don't know. But throw it
Maybe
up,
he can
man.
throw it to himself.
Direct
throw it to
snap.
himself.
There you
And
Yeah.
There you go. I like it. Well, I'm Giants as well. I don't have a lot of insight on it. I'm Giants. Obviously, JJ goes down, so I don't really have any interest in the purple team.
Yep.
Starting off your 4:00 slate, you got the Los Angeles. Ooh, a different team now, Zach. Las Vegas Raiders going against Los Angeles Chargers. We got a debut for a new head coach here at 4:05 on CBS, starting off the Sunday slate or 4:00 Sunday slate. I don't know. I'm gonna root for Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. That's what I'm doing. I just made that pick right now, live on the guys' show. I'm going Raiders.
I don't think there's a coach I dislike more.
Mr. Harbaugh, you don't like him?
Than Harbaugh, dude.
Who's got it better than us?
He's goofy. He's just he also came from Michigan.
Buddy.
But I think the Raiders, honestly, one of the best receivers in the game, Devontae Adams. So
Let's go.
I think there's more talent across the board. I don't think Justin Herbert has the I think he's good, but I don't think they've got the pieces in place for him. So yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders. The Raiders.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, yeah, we're gonna go with the Raiders
All the way.
again. It's the Chargers. They are what they are. I don't see anything from them that tells me like, man, they've really got the potential this year, right? But the Raiders, I don't know. They've got pieces there. It's just they seem to have struggled to get them to be cohesive last season. Some of it, I know there's a lot of frustration on Devontae Adams' part last year with their quarterback situation. But I think the Raiders pull out.
Raiders have the best. Raiders have the best young tight end room with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, dude. Let's go. Come on now. That's insane. Those two in college, you'd be like, they're on the same team. You're joking. So now they are on the same team in the NFL, which is wild.
They're going to run a lot of 22 personnel, I believe.
Yeah, dude. Let's go.
I think there's going to be handing it off, and then, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. All right, Raiders across the board. Denver Broncos going to the Seattle Seahawks Sunday, 4:05 CBS. I don't know. I'm not going to take the lead on this. Who wants it?
Go ahead, Dan. Take it.
I know he wants
the Broncos game.
Yeah.
Broncos Seahawks.
Broncos
Seattle.
Can we just pick? They both lose. I don't care about either of these teams.
Hey,
the Broncos. Honestly, I'm probably going to lean Seattle only because again, the Broncos are another team that they've just been. It's been on fire. They can't seem to get right.
Yeah.
Seattle by no means has been doing anything crazy, but they just haven't been as crazy of a dumpster fire, if you will, right? So I would just say again, coin flip. I'm going to go with Seattle, based on I think they're just not as bad.
You know what, Bo Nix, first start. I think I'm going to go with the Broncos. Also, I know your boy Estime is playing there.
Yes,
Third down
sir.
back.
Hey, watch out in the red zone, baby.
Yeah, red zone. He's
You're
a
gonna get
bulldozer.
fucked up.
Yeah, he's a
You know what I'm saying?
bulldozer, dude. Oh
God,
man,
he's a huge man.
It's another toss-up game for me too, but I am going to go. We'll just go with the Broncos and Bo Nix, even though Gino's probably got more experience and probably going to play a better game. But we'll go with the exciting, brand new quarterback up there in Colorado.
I like it. Yeah, Seahawks got, Tyler Lockett. You got, what was that, DK Metcalf. You got that guy from Ohio State with 4 first names.
Yep.
Or whatever's going on there with him. They're a good talent. Not sure who the hell. Oh, the running back's Kenneth Walker.
Yep, Kenneth Walker the third.
So they got some guys, man, that's been there for this is probably year or two with everyone kind of together. So I'm going Seattle. I'm
probably going to regret my choice, but we'll see.
Sorry, Jeffrey Miller. I'd love to cheer for you Broncos, but not this week. Okay. All right. I think this is the game of the week. 4:25. Dallas Cowboys going to Cleveland. They're playing the Browns Sunday. Fox. This is huge. I think this is a weird game. I don't even know, man. Shoot.
I can shit on all day you want. If you want me to, I can shit on them all day. So here's the thing. This is the game.
Lay it down there.
This is the biggest game of this is our year. These two teams, and this is our year every single time. This is that fucking game, right? So
yeah, I'm with it.
Honestly, if I pick Dallas, I'll be upsetting myself. I hate them to my core. So I'm going to go with Cleveland. I know Chubb's not back yet, but I think once he does come back, I've seen his rehab videos. He still looks like a freak. He still looks like a stud. I think Deshaun Watson actually comes back, play. So I think their defense is really going to do it. So Browns for me, but I could watch the Cowboys lose every single week, and I'd be a very happy person. So
I like it. Yeah, my dad's a huge Cowboys fan, which he doesn't even know anyone on the team. He just loves Cowboys. He's like, who's on the team now? I'm like, dude, don't shut. Okay, whatever.
I mean, the Cowboys think this is 2019 with their running backs, Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott, and it's not. They're not them anymore. You can't. No, you're not going to get that. So they do have one of the best receivers in the game. CD Lamb is absolutely fantastic, but I don't see it happening. No. Micah Parsons, shout out. As you can see, he played here. Thank you very much. I still don't think it's enough. I think the Browns are going to take it.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I go with Cleveland because I'm just going to tell you, America's team. Well, it's hashtag that's not my America, okay? Because they have been. They're just like I mean, they're like Cubs fans, like everything. This is our year, and it's like every year has been your.
Hey,
it's the truth. For 100 some years, the Cubs would say this is our year,
and it was. See,
the Cowboys still have a long time to go before they hit 100 some years. So,
how the White Sox doing?
I don't care. Baseball's boring.
True, that's true. I'll never talk about baseball. I can't do baseball.
I'll tell you what you won't see on an NFL broadcast is them panning to people knitting in the crowd like you do in baseball. So
maybe in Brazil.
The Cowboys are their own worst enemy. It just seems like they keep saying that it's our year, and then they just find some way to not win when it counts.
Stephen A. Smith gets me going with that entire Cowboy stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen it. But Stephen A. Smith, it's my favorite thing.
I love it. I'm picking Cowboys, man. I hate Deshaun Watson. He's a freaking freak. I feel like he's a terrible person. I'm going after his psyche here. He's a piece of shit, actually.
That's for sure.
Better words for it.
For sure. Yeah.
So Dallas is going to win just because.
Let them know.
Yeah. That's pretty much that. They don't have a good running back.
Guy likes a massage now and then. Criminalize him. Jeez.
There's ways to go about it, Dan, and I don't think that's it.
That's not it. Oops.
After number 20, I think it's about fucking too much. Okay.
Yeah.
It's too many.
Above your threshold.
At least he was humping the air and not the people.
All right, moving on. Washington Commanders are going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers Sunday, 4:25 kickoff on Fox. This 4 o'clock slate sucks. I will be taking a nap during this time. No, I won't actually because never mind. We got first CFL game this Sunday at 1 o'clock, so I get to miss the whole pretty much day, which sucks. Man. But gotta love them kids, baby.
as long
Yeah,
as
They
they
got a
win,
new
right?
quarterback. Let's go
If they
Commanders.
don't win, you don't love them.
That's
Jaden
right.
Daniels, right? Yeah, Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels
Jaden
at the
Daniels.
helm.
That's what I want to see
Running
him.
new
I want to see
era.
him do his thing.
New
Let's
era
do
for
it.
the Commanders. I can't pick yet. Dan, you pick.
I'm going to go with the Bucks only because, again, the Commander. Like,
Ooh.
they got to give me a reason to buy into the Commanders at
Yeah,
all. Like,
yeah,
I know
you're
they
right.
get new people, but they've had their fair share of like, oh, this is going to be a great quarterback. This is going to be whatever. Like, just show me some level of even moderately sustained success from season to season, or that the organization cares. Like, I've seen multiple reports, people that leave that team talk about how they were happy to get out of an environment where people were fine with losing. Like, people were just okay with it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Give me a reason to give any belief in you as a team and as an organization. That's the only reason I'd pick in the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks.
Okay.
I believe in Baker Mayfield, especially the new Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I've been liking that.
Yeah,
Been liking
so
that.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to be good. I just don't think yet because they don't have
Not
the
yet.
pieces in place, right? So it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's, do you start this man in this environment and let him grow there, or do you sit him? But I don't think they have a choice. So I'm going to go with the Bucks anyways.
Yeah, the only reason I'm going Washington, literally Jaden Daniels and then their running back Robinson, he got shot, and he still
Yikes.
played like not too long after that last season. So good for him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He got shot up, and he said, "Watch this, coach. Give me
Yeah.
the ball."
Put me on. Put
So
me on
I'm
the field.
pitting them. All right, we're here. We made it to Sunday night. I do this every podcast. I did it last year too. I talk about Carrie Underwood and her damn sexy legs singing Sunday Night Football, baby. When that comes on, the dip is already flowing. I've been in the bathroom twice. I'm at least 12 beers deep. Los Angeles Rams, Detroit Lions, Sunday 8:20 kickoff, NBC and or Peacock. Let's go Detroit. Come on, Detroit.
Yeah, it's Lions, man. It's got to be Lions. I think they were so fun to root for last year. I know
Dan
this
Campbell's
is
my
hard.
favorite person in the whole United
I know
States.
Dan, this might be a little bit like maybe you don't feel that way, but also as you know what I mean, as a Bears fan. But they were fun to root for last year. You know what I mean? So it was just like one of those underdog stories. You see a team like the Bears, honestly, get beat down for so many years where you're like, holy shit, this is getting old. And then they start winning, which is what I hope happens with the Bears this year. But I think, Detroit takes it from the Rams.
I'm going to pick Detroit, and as much as I hate that they're in the Bears division, like, I mean, you just have to recognize the talent that they have. I mean, they have one of the other arguably best receivers in football, the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The guy's a monster. The whole culture of the team, is different than it's been in years past.
I really like David Montgomery too, the running back. He's a stud. He's just a good.
Gibbs is my favorite dude.
Yeah, dude,
I don't even know
that duo is fantastic.
Never heard of him. Never heard of the guy. Don't even know who he is.
Yeah, well, you should figure that out because they're going to play the Bears twice this year.
Yeah,
I mean, he can't be that good. A crappy team like the Bears let him go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, honestly, like, if I'd rather see the Bears and the Lions be the top two in that division than the Vikings and the Packers, because that's how it's been for a while. Yep. But again, I am as much as I want the Bears to win, and I know that they will win ultimately in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to recognize the talent that the Lions have, even though they're not always a good judge of coach. They fire some coaches mid-season weirdly. Jordan, you know what I'm talking about. You just all of a sudden get fired from a team.
Nope. What do you mean?
I was the Lions coach in our Madden dynasty, and they mysteriously fired me in the middle of the season.
Good. I think that was for their own good. I think is what
because then I poached everybody with the Bears and went to the Super Bowl. But no, I think the Lions, like, again, they have a good, talented team. They have a young team. Aiden Hutchinson is a killer on defense. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown on offense. I mean,
Sam Laporta, man, at tight end. Shit,
yeah,
they've got a good setup up there. So Lions for sure.
Yep,
I love it. Now, if Thursday, Friday, and all day Sunday was not enough football for you, we have a Monday night game. And Tanner and I talked a lot last year, and we did not like the double headers they did on Monday nights in the beginning of the season. Nope. It was too much. I didn't like it, so I'm glad they're doing, I guess, more spread out Thursday, Friday here. But the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers go and see Brock Purdy and the boys at San Francisco 49ers. Monday, 8:20, ESPN, ABC, and or ESPN Plus. Set the stage, Dan. What do you got, buddy? What do you see what do you see happening here?
I thought they were going to do. I mean, they did terribly, but I thought they were going to do better than they did last year. I want to go with the Jets. I mean, they've got arguably one of the best cornerbacks in all of football. All right. Sauce Gardner. They've got Brees Hall, who is a stud running back. I mean, they've got pieces there. And it's like they're poised to succeed. So I hope they get over that hump, right? And they can get some of these young guys a taste of success. And again, the real thing for me, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not real high on that whole deal there that they had with him.
He's a weird man.
He's an odd guy for sure.
He's something
Difference
else.
should be the word.
But again, he was when they with last year, like they kind of mortgaged their season on him, and he was out. He made it out of the tunnel, and they were like, "Well, you're done for the season." So it's like, I'd like to see him get some success. I'm just going to take the pick with the Jets, even though I want it. Everything in me tells me the 49ers probably will win. I'm going to go with the Jets.
All right.
Yep.
Jordan, what you got?
Jets.
It's Niners. I think they figured out the contract. Brandon Ayuk. I think
Trent
Christian
Williams
McCaffrey,
too.
Brock Purdy. George Kittle. I think Fred Warner. I mean, I could keep going, but I think
you're just saying that because you're a Giants fan. I think I'm seeing some bias in this conversation.
Why? What's wrong with the other team? That's right.
I just think you don't want to recognize the real New York team, right?
No, I could honestly I haven't thought about the Jets so long.
Well, you better start thinking about them. Okay.
I don't know that. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, so I think Niners run it. It may be by a lot, to be honest with you. It might be a blowout, to be honest with you.
Okay, now you're just getting a little ridiculous.
So I said there was 2 blowouts. I think the Chicago Bears and I think 49ers are going to absolutely destroy their games. The Jets. I'm going to pick Niners as well. There's too much talent. I think that team has finally got everyone back together. Like he said, they just finished a deal with Trent Williams, their tackle, and also Brandon Ayuk. So a lot of things were happening, a lot of offseason buzz. Ultimately, they're back together and they're ready to make another run. And I don't see another team in the NFC that can really compete with Kansas City for the Super Bowl type situation. I think it's going to be another repeat type deal.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Neither of them will be there. The Bears are going to be there, but it's okay.
Neither of them. Kansas City still be there, regardless of the Bears.
No, Bears are going to go over to the Bears are going to play the Bears. Bears are going to play the Bears.
I'm ready to go to bed, Dan. Leave me alone, okay? So that wraps up the NFL schedule. Guys, let us know in the comments below if we're out of our damn minds or if you can side with one of us. There's 3 minds going at it here. It's pretty fun. I enjoy this kind of setup. I think this is a lot of fun for me. I'm sure the guys will say the same thing too.
Yeah, dude. Makes it more enjoyable for sure.
Yes, it does. Any last comments, concerns, things somebody should be aware about for this sports weekend that we have jam-packed here?
I just hope all the teams have fun,
Absolutely. That's all it's about, right?
F
is for fun. F is for fun.
God damn it, dude. It's for fun. Let's go, dude.
Yep.
Let's do things together. It's for you and me.
My top 10 for college football, this is the last thing I'll say, is I did have Michigan dropping out of the top 10.
Oh, shit. I completely forgot about that.
And that's something I think I switched. I put Michigan and then I put Miami. Basically, those were my 2. So if that's how high I think I am on Miami, is I think that's where they're projected, is they're just going to continue to climb the stuff, man. I think that's really it. Look out for Miami. That's all I got to say. But the NFL is for some reason more exciting this year to me. Maybe it's just because of parity across the board, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how this season turned out. I could be completely wrong.
I totally forgot about the top 10 of college football.
Top 10 is going to be there every week, my man.
I know. But there's really no changes in mine, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the AP. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama. I almost even thought about switching Ole Miss and Notre Dame, 5 and 6 there. Penn State, maybe even above Notre Dame, just because they're about the same. Michigan 8, 9, Oregon, Missouri 10. I put Oregon all the way down to 9. They need to show it, obviously.
Yeah.
They need to show me something because I didn't sell my stock, but I just need them to perform a little bit better, kind of like the top 5 teams did there. So that's going to be that's my changes on that.
Yep.
Just real quick run through.
I got you. No, yeah, I think we're pretty much locked. Notre Dame should stay, top 5, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Bama, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Penn State, Oregon, Miami, Missouri is what I got. And just
Yeah.
out, I've got Michigan, Tennessee, Utah, and USC. So
Yeah, not too
USC, I'm not sold on. I think they'll probably end up higher, but we'll have to see what they can actually produce. If they can replicate what they did against LSU,
Yeah.
they'll go up there. But
I love it. I love
Good
it.
deal.
Dan, you got any top tens to say? It's about the same.
No, being an Illini fan, I cover the bottom dregs of the college football games. So if you guys need any reports on what's going on at the bottom rungs of the ladder,
There
I
you
got
You
you.
got boots on the ground with the shitty teams. I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah,
Thank you,
boots
Dan.
on the ground with the Rutgers and the Illinois and the Purdue's.
Yeah, let me know how Maryland's doing. I don't even know. Are they playing the schedule this year?
Yikes.
We're
Love
all
it.
just looking forward to basketball season down here.
I love it. Well, you guys, I appreciate the hell out of both of you, Dan and Jordan, joining in this week. We can make this a weekly occurrence. I don't really care. I love it.
I'm having a good time.
It makes this a lot easier to do. It's hard to do by yourself. So
Yeah.
appreciate you guys joining in, and all of you guys. If you're still watching this, that means you obviously like this content. So please subscribe and like and follow on all of our social medias. If you're not involved on that, get a hold of me. I will get you in the right direction of where you need to go and how to and take the podcast and things like that. So once again, appreciate you guys, and be good, be safe. We'll see you guys
Yes,
on the flip.
sir.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Hell yeah.